Welcome to Goat Island. I'm your host, the Big Ka Huzzi, and this is your weekly entertainment and history. Let's start with series. The series we are rating this week is adult animated comedy, and the GOAT in this category is American Dad. I mean, it takes the dysfunctional dynamic of Family Guy and mixes it with the futuristic, reality-bending nature of Rick and Morty, right? You're not watching this for the plot. You're not putting on an adult animated comedy to sit down and watch for a plot. You're sitting down to relax, chill out, and think, oh shit, that's kind of funny, you know? And for these reasons, this is the GOAT adult animated comedy. We're giving it a 8 out of 10. Blood of Zeus released this past week, and unfortunately it was not as good a season as we'd like it to be, but at the same time, within the context of the series as a whole, it was exactly what was needed. Hate to see it finish, but all good things must come to an end. Recently we binged this show called Yellow Jackets, and wow, just wow. You go in thinking it's gonna be shit, and then it starts, and you start telling the person you're watching it with, oh, you see, I told, and then all of a sudden you are invested in how stupid the characters are and how you wish they do things differently, and that's just a testament to how good the show is. Great binge, 8 out of 10. Do you remember when they used to have adverts and commercials and children learned to wait for things and value time? That doesn't happen anymore, and it shows, because they can't even handle the 5-second skip ad on YouTube. Moving on to movies. This week we are looking at a different category of movies, and the category is comic book movies, and in this category, there's no question that the GOAT is Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, it's not my favorite, you know. I like Infinity War, you know. Love Spider-Man 3, you know, the original one with Tobey, where he does the whole, you know, that bullshit, Billy Maguire. But in terms of GOAT comic book movies, I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine's the one. You know, it's like it's taken straight out of the comics, and somehow it works. 9 out of 10. Yeah. With regards to our movies in May, tomorrow, Hurry Up Tomorrow releases worldwide, and let's just hope it's better than the album. But the trailer did show some promise, so we'll see. Unfortunately, we were wrong, and Thunderbolts is not the movie of the month. And that's because Marvel renamed it the New Avengers, upgrading quicker than a phone on your mother's contract. And yes, we're sticking with the Marvel movie as the movie of the month. Lilo and Stitch is iconic, but really does the live action do the animated classics justice? And unless Hurry Up Tomorrow is Saltburn level good, I doubt it's coming close to the New Avengers. Last week we answered the question of why we don't need another Mission Impossible, but this week it's Karate Kid's turn. Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan's Karate Kid was iconic, but not really a good Karate Kid movie. It was Rocky V at best. And now after they successfully continued the franchise in Cobra Kai, they again ruined shit by putting it on Jackie to make another movie. And unless it's Rush Hour, Jackie ain't reviving any movie franchise. And that's why we don't need this shit again. With regards to DSPs, this week's most watched DSP was Netflix, of course. Because this past weekend, if it wasn't sports, then we were binging Blood of Zeus. And man, again, sucks that it's done for good, but what's time? Talking about things coming to an end, let's end DSPs and move on to studios. And we've been covering the two competing superhero studios in Marvel and DC. And I just saw this clip where the head of Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, was asked about James Gunn director of Guardians of the Galaxy, moving over to DC Studios, and to paraphrase, I think it's great for audiences to find going to the movies an entertaining experience between our movies. The man basically called DC movies the equivalent of commercials or filler episodes for Marvel. There was a bit of drama, or should I say confusion, at the Met Gala. The rest of the world, and I mean literally the rest of it, were pissed off when they heard that Americans, specifically the ones at the gala, had no idea who Shah Rukh Khan was. Now, we couldn't ignore this because SRK is, well, the Bollywood goat. But that shouldn't come as a surprise considering that America has their own World Cup called the Super Bowl, and the Western superpower as a society has always been clear that if it doesn't happen in the USA, then it doesn't matter to them. Disclaimer though, we are not saying this is true of all Americans. This is just the global perception of your society as a whole. We still love you. This week, we're rating another era of Disney, and it's the experimental era from 1999 to 2008, and this was the time of many modern classics in Treasure Planet, Lilo and Stitch, and Brother Bear. This gave us Nani's Gyat, and the nickname Gurtan girls call their sneaky links when talking to their boyfriends. This period really showed us that Disney can always make new classics, and Goat Island gives this era a 9 out of 10. Let's take a step back and deal with some history. This week's petty boy in history is Ramses II, also known as Ramses the Great. After the draw at the Battle of Kadesh, Ramses claimed a complete victory. Again, it was a draw, but well, he didn't just claim a victory, he also carved the victory into every single wall in Egypt, even though it was a draw. And you thought your boyfriend gaslighting you for bothering him with your insecurities was petty. Now, not all history in movies is accurate. This week it's time to ruin another one for you in 300. Yes, it's an epic movie and it looks great, but Xerxes was just the king. And not some bald, oiled up, giant looking biddy boy. And the 300 had thousands of buddies helping them, so yeah. Did you know that Adidas and Puma were not only made by brothers, but they were Nazis? Yeah. Story goes that the brothers had a disagreement during World War II, while they were fighting for that guy with the mustache. Yeah. Anyway, the disagreement was over the one brother saying during a bombing that these bastards are back again, and the other one thinking that he was talking about him and his family instead of the allies that were bombing him. So they split up the former Gebrüder Dassler Schuhfabrik, and the one made Adidas, because his name was Adolf. And the other made what today is known as Puma. So please, before you say anything about Goat Island being chicks over stripes and unapologetically Nike, just remember the story. Now, I can't lie and say I wouldn't want to see this as a series. This would easily be an 8 out of 10 show if done in a fast-paced, dramatic way like the Netflix show Hollywood. And as a movie, I doubt it would be in the same tone as the Nike movie Air. But I think if you had the brothers' dynamic and conflict in a Nazi Germany setting, the focus of it would easily be a 9 out of 10. Especially at the end when the credits roll, you have, that little caption at the end where the movies never show what happens, but they'll have it typed out so you can imagine it, because that's why you go watch a movie, to have to use your own creativity to picture what the director won't show. Anyway, that's it for this week's Entertainment and History Drop, and you can like and subscribe. If you have any thoughts, drop a comment. And from Goat Island, this is the Big Ka Huzzi. Check you again.